Lions fans, welcome back. Jason from Talking Gritt. We're going to talk Terrion Arnold in this video. It's a hot button topic for us as Lions fans. Dan Campbell's talking about it at 97.1. Kelvin Shepard's talking about it in his latest press conference. They say a defense is only as good as its weakest link. Well, a lot of people in Detroit feel that Terrion Arnold is that weak link. We're going to discuss all of that and more in this video.
Welcome to Talking Gritt.
All right. Before we get into any of the numbers or anything like that, I want to make it clear this is not a Terrion Arnold hate video. We don't operate like that at Talking Gritt. There's going to be no screaming, no yelling. It's going to be basically numbers and what I've seen on tape, all right, or what I've seen in the game or my feelings. And I'll make those clear as I go on. One thing that Lions fans need to understand that the corners of the Lions are always going to be put out on an island. Okay. Kelvin Shepard talked about it in his previous press conference. It's going to be very obvious when they make a mistake. Okay. And Kelvin Shepard has also made it clear that mistakes are not acceptable in this defense. The Lions sell out for the run, putting their corners on islands. We have very good safety play, which will help those corners out. But sometimes you're one-on-one and it's you versus your man, and you got to win your one-on-ones. Lions are built like that. You have to win your one-on-ones. Unfortunately, Terrion Arnold is not winning. Let's look at the overall numbers. Okay. TA has been targeted 22 times in the first 3 games. They've led 15 completed passes for 235 yards and 2 touchdowns. DJ Reed, the starting corner on the other side, 9 targets. He's led up 6 receptions for 75 yards and 0 touchdowns. I mean, that's what Lions fans are feeling, right? When it's a big third down or we're giving up a big play, we always feel that it's Terrion, and a lot of times that's true. But can you blame a quarterback? Can you blame a team? You're going to attack DJ Reed or Terrion Arnold? I'm going to go after the second-year guy. DJ Reed is a quality corner in this league. So Terrion Arnold's going to have to prove that he could stop that either by getting some interceptions, more PBUs, or just playing tighter coverage and making that quarterback throw on time and on target. Another thing that I feel, and so I wanted to look at the numbers on this. It feels like in the first half, Terrion Arnold's a different player than the second half. So let's look at the numbers, okay? So in the first half, he's been targeted 14 times. He's given up 11 completions for 176 yards and 2 touchdowns. In the second half of the 3 games, he has been targeted 8 times, let 4 completions for 59 yards and 0 touchdowns. Huge difference, right? Now, I will grant you that he did not play the second half of that Packers game because of the injury, right? So he's had less opportunities in the second half. However, the Packers, I think, passed for like 6 times in that half. So there wouldn't have been very many opportunities to attack Terrion Arnold in the first place. So he's given up passer ratings of 149, 89, and 139 in his 3 games. Those are not good numbers, and that's why we're pointing to a change. Do I feel that they need to permanently pull off Terrion and make Amik cornerback number 2? No, I don't think that's the solution either, because then you're weakening the nickel defense. Terrion's probably not built for nickel, which is more of a speed position, and Terrion Arnold's not fast to be able to keep up with some of those slot wide receivers. So why are we talking about putting Amik Robertson in there? First, let's hit Dan Campbell's comment. We can listen to that real quick right now.
But look, every young player, man, they have these ebbs and flows of their career or of a second year, things of that nature. And so he's going to be all right, man. We're just going to keep working through it. And look, we'll probably use Amik on some stuff too. Amik's a good player, so we're going to mix it up a little bit.
It's a really quick comment, right? It's at the end. He's like, and now we're going to get Amik more snaps. So the media latches onto that. Of course, I, as a content creator, latch onto that. And as a Lions fan, do I want to see Amik on the field more? Yes. We all know that he locked down Justin Jefferson, right? It was a great game, and I do think that he has the ability to do that. But also, I don't want to weaken the nickel cornerback position just to put Amik on the outside. So is there some middle ground? Is there a solution there? And there is. The Lions play the base defense, which is 3 linebackers, 2 corners, 2 safeties, more than anyone else in the NFL. So therefore, their nickel cornerback, Amik, isn't on the field. And that's what Dan Campbell is really getting at, is that they need to get their best players on the field. Amik is one of those good players that they need to get on the field. So you may see, and it sounds like it's going to happen based on what Calvin Shepard has said in his press conference, that Terrion Arnold is not going to be out there on a base defense. I don't think it's going to be for every snaps, but it may be for a series. It may be for part of a series. That'll be the interesting thing, and Lions fans need to watch that going forward, what they do. My feeling is it's going to be on third down, big third down plays. If they're not in nickel, if they're in base on a third down play, I think you're going to see Amik out there locking them down on third down, because Calvin Shepard has made it clear we need to get off the field on the opponent's first drive. They have scored 3 straight times on us, and Terrion Arnold's been heavily focused on by opposing quarterbacks during those times. So I'm expecting Amik to get some play out there early and maybe on third downs if they're not going to do it by series.
We first start with Amik. Has nothing to do with Terrion's player performance. Let me start there. Amik has always earned his keep with me. I saw it last year. That's a player that's earned the right to be on the field. And just with the frequency of base defense that we're playing right now, he's losing snaps.
Another knock on Terrion Arnold is that he's a first-round pick, right? The expectation should be higher. So the people on that side look at players like Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, Super Bowl champions are going to be looked at, drafted in the same class as Terrion, and they're producing at a much higher level than what we see from Terrion. People on the other side of the coin say, Terrion's a young guy. He's going to develop. We've seen it with other players. It takes a little bit longer to develop. So why are we rushing this kid? Let him develop at his own pace. I'm somewhere in the middle on those two topics. I mean, we should have higher expectations for Terrion because he is a first-round pick. But at the same time, yes, people develop at different rates, so let's give him a chance. He's not been absolutely terrible, so let's see what we can do, see if we can get him to grow. Because if we could get him to grow and develop into one of those players, then this team's defense will be even more dangerous. But let's just not take words. Let's try to look for some objective data on this, right? So what I look to is PFF. I know it's not a perfect system, not claiming it is, but I wanted to look for a non-biased, objective system to look at numbers. So let's look at Terrion's numbers.
It's not like this kid, I'm down on TA or TA's having a bad year. That's not it. We're talking a few plays, but when you play out there, those few plays get exposed and highlighted a lot more than it does in interior deep.
Terrion Arnold is the 92nd rated cornerback in the NFL right now on PFF out of 106. He is 16th out of 19th in his 2024 class. It's not like he's just a bunch of veterans ahead of him. Most of the people in his own draft class are ahead of him. In fact, he is 23rd out of 27th if we consider his draft class, which is the 24 draft class, and 2025. So there's only 4 people behind him. Those 4 people are Kool-Aid McKinstry, who's actually tied with Terrion Arnold, Mike Sandersstill, which I was surprised to see him on there, Jarrian Jones. So those are all people in his own draft class. And then Jason Marshall, who is a rookie this year with the Miami Dolphins. You don't want to be at the bottom of that list. DJ Reed is in the 30s. I think he's like 35 or something like that. Jacob and I on the podcast talked about it when he asked me if Terrion Arnold, if I consider him a bust or, do I think there's room for growth? 100% think there's room for growth. Do I think that he can improve? No, I think that he can. And also, I think seeing Amik out there, watching him, I think that's a good thing for Terrion Arnold, as long as he keeps the proper mindset. And I'm pretty sure with that player, he's going to keep the proper mindset. My curiosity, and I don't know the answer to this one, is why the difference between the second half and the first half, right? It would make sense that, the lines have been up, especially on the Bears and the Ravens. Let's go tack a Terrion, for working the first half. something tells me that his play is improving. Watching the all 22, the coverage, especially in that Ravens game, was very sticky in the second half. It just tells me he's making some growth during the game. So maybe he's, getting a better read for the receiver. He's able to read, whatever they're doing in their routes. He's able to anticipate that better. Maybe his nerves settle down. I don't know what it is. Terrion Arnold maybe doesn't know what it is. If he did, he would be able to fix it in the first half. But there's some growth there. He has shown the ability to be able to play cornerback at a high level in this game. There's promise for this player, and I am not writing him off. Do I want to see Amik out there? Yes, I want to see our best players on the field. I want to get the other team off the field, especially on third down. We've had many opportunities in the first 3 games to get, if not a 3 and out, to get this team off before they score a touchdown. With our offense, if we score on our opening drive, which we're very good at, and we stop them on their first drive and then score and then get up by 2 scores, it makes our defense so much better. Our offense is going to continue to attack no matter what, because we have Dan Campbell at the end, and he won't take his foot off the gas till the game is over, right? So, we just need to figure this out as a team. Is replacing Terrion Arnold with Amik Robertson the answer? We'll see. And the Lions are given that opportunity to Amik to show that he can do it. And then, you know what? They're not going to write Terrion Arnold off. They're going to give him opportunities, and if he continues to progress as a player, as I think he will, then he'll be back on the field, and this will be, talk that we'll look back on and be like, wow. It could be a Darius Slice situation where everyone wrote him off, right? And then all of a sudden he turns into one of the best cover corners in the NFL. I'd love to see that same progress for Terrion Arnold. All right, Lions fans, it's been great talking to you. Like and subscribe if you want to see more content. We have our podcast that Jacob and I do. It's also available in video form here on YouTube. I can link that in the video below. Go Lions.